Good morning, everybody. Let me make sure my mic is on. Can you hear me and see me? Good morning. Good morning. Can you guys see me and hear me? Thank you, Jill. Okay, sorry I've been MIA this week, guys. Gavin got sick from school, and then I got sick from Gavin. So that is where I have been. Let me go up here. Going to get started. I'm going to try and stay on 2 hours. We'll see if my throat holds up. Why can't you see this? 1 second. Let me fix this. Okay. Someone showed me covered up unalived weapons. I believe they were going to confess. I whispered something in their ear, or they whispered something in mine. Meaning. It involved another party. Almost like, I don't know if it would have been them blaming another party or them connecting the dots between them and another party, but it had something to do with like a third person being involved or a third person knowing something. Messages from my spirit team for this travel week and a song. You may experience some kind of hiccup or some kind of frustration, but everything's going to be fine. Just maybe be prepared for something to take a little longer, or maybe like plans not working out the way that you would have initially hoped, but it ends up better than you're either ending up avoiding something or you're ending up with something better than what you initially expected. And the song that, sorry, I'm trying to block this thing. The song that is playing is Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. Sorry, this is driving me nuts. I want to block this screen. Let me turn this off. Okay, I unplugged it and it didn't turn off. That's good. Will my son's roommate move out peacefully without drama? I don't know if it's drama or if it's like gaslighting manipulation, but it's something. It's kind of giving I need to have the last word, or like I need to make my point before I leave. So again, I don't know if that's drama or if that's like some kind of verbal manipulation, but it looks like there is going to be something. This is the scene after the after tarot, so they're literally battling in this card as opposed to him just like riding on the horse. So it's like, before I go, I have to make my point or something to that effect. My brother sent me a photo of him and my friend Jay at a concert together. He was avoiding talking about her. What was the purpose of him sending to me? Admission of dating without saying it. It's like, I want you to ask questions again, or I want you to form an opinion about this. I want to get your gears turning before I say something is kind of what this is. It's like I'm trying to either get your reaction or response, or trying to set up for something I'm going to say later. Knight of Cups, I would say yes, probably on the way to dating or dating. Any messages for me about J.O.? Look before you leap. Um, it feels like there's something you don't know or something that you assume and are going to find proof of. It's like either your intuition is correct or there's something you don't know yet that you'll know when it's time to know. I would say look before you leap and take your time here. Almost like something that you think is going to change. Something you're thinking is going to change after you receive some kind of information. Message and a token. Huh. Teeth in a jar with number 12. Like when you take your teeth out and put it in a jar. Unexpected healing. Something that you thought was unrepairable. There's a solution coming. I don't know if this is health or I don't know if this is something in like day-to-day life routine, but it's like you thought there was no better option and you're going to start to see that there was an option that didn't seem like it was an option previously. Message and a song. My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. There's a need to really pour into yourself right now. It's like there's something about your needs that you're neglecting and it's causing you to feel in this locked out energy. My own worst enemy. It's like, how's your internal dialogue right now? What are you blaming or shaming yourself for that's not your fault? Because there's a need to redirect that internal piece that's going against you. It's keeping you trapped in a cycle where you think that someone else's wrongdoing is your fault and it's not. Will my granddaughter marry the guy she's with now? And a song. Six of Wands in reverse, and I couldn't pick it up. I feel like it's going to be a situation where one person wants commitment and the other person does not, and then it depends on how long that person is willing to wait. I feel more likely that something else is going to happen because this was hard to like pick up. I kind of like had to bend it to pick it up. It's like someone feels like they're going to have to bend to the other person's desires in order to make the relationship work, and I feel like that's going to bring things to an eventual halt. Oh, Never Too Late by 3 Days Grace. So I guess it depends if the other person at that point decides to do what they didn't feel comfortable doing before. It feels like it centers around commitment. Will I get the job interview next week at hospital, nuclear medicine department? Clerical role. Yes, but I feel like there's a need for patience. So I don't know if that's like I interview once and then I need a second interview, or I don't know if that's like there's a long hiring process or if they're not making a decision immediately. So there's a need for patience, but this is a new beginning and that would be collaboration. So a new beginning with this company. Can our pup tell us how he died, what caused his death? Do they have any messages for us? A new issue that was undetected. It feels like new issue that was undetected. Almost like you couldn't have, there's nothing that you could have seen or quarrels, 3 different things. Unstable. Jack of all trades. Spasm. Oh, the side. I kept hearing the side, and I was like, work bonus. No, the other side is spasmodic actions. 3 different things coming together that caused a spasmodic action. almost seeing like a power surge type thing, like, but like in the body of some, not literal power, but like a short circuiting of something, like a wire being crimped is kind of what I'm seeing. I don't know if that makes sense. Do you have any messages for us? It wasn't going to be able to be caught. Like, you couldn't have acted sooner to get a different scenario. You couldn't have had preventative care. It was like something in my body just went against me. Like a surge of it. There's a need to let go of the blame. I feel like someone's holding a lot of self-blame, but there's literally nothing that could have been done differently. I'm almost wondering if you were considering doing something like health-wise for him, it's almost like he's saying that wouldn't have made the difference though. Like, whatever it was that you feel like you were behind on, it wouldn't have made the difference. This was like unavoidable type energy. Message from my higher self. I can't get this in a good spot. Message from my higher self. Sometimes there's a need to walk by faith and not by sight when it comes to the changes you're making for yourself. You might not see immediate results or you might not see immediate progress, but that's because there's something up ahead that, because you're choosing yourself, that lesson is being cleared from your path so that you can pass without having to interfere with or have that lesson interfere with you. So there's a need for patience with yourself to unpack what you were previously avoiding, because it's helping you to move ahead at the proper pace. Is Chris right for me? Chris, you. There's something that you don't know that I feel like you're going to come to find out, and that's going to answer the question for you. I feel like there's a bit of either secrecy or purposeful avoidance of a certain topic, and that's where you're going to find your answer. I feel like this person is an important lesson for you or an important piece of the story. Should I invest in SKQ? It's a good investment, but something in the plan is off. I don't know if you're planning to put too much or not enough, or if it's the like way that, I don't know if there's like different ways to buy stock or something. Like, it's almost like something in the planning can shift a little bit so that you can get this 10 of Pentacles. You're on your way there, but the plan still needs to mature. So yes, but cross all your T's and dot all your I's, so to speak. What is my current energy? What is my current energy? Needing to shift the focus internally, because you're focused on something externally, trying to come up with the solution, but the solution is internal. You need to kind of sit with your thoughts and figure out what your intuition has been trying to tell you that you might not have been hearing. So I guess I'd say there's some internal avoidance due to external focus, but the external solution is found internally. Will the staffing coordinator job be a good fit for me? I feel like, yes, it's exactly what you're expecting it to be. So you know it's not ultimately where you want to be, like, in your thing that you end up in, but it is a good stepping stone. It does feel like it's eventually going to come to some kind of end. But it feels like a your decision type end when it does. So it feels like, yes, it's a good stepping stone. Message from my granddad, Rusty. Today is his birthday. Parents' family tree. I don't know what that means. It's coming through audibly. Family tree, family tree. There's a feeling of like, how do I say this? Like passing the buck. Like a lesson that he ingrained in someone is being played out live. And it feels like that has a lot to do with this family tree type message I'm getting. So it almost feels like the message is there's dots to connect, or there's dots that are connecting. And there's like a deeper meaning or a deeper message in that connection. I feel like some kind of important revelation is coming to someone. It feels like maybe you, or you'll hear about it. And it's almost like he wants to say, that's from me. My gift to the family is getting this information to the right person at the right time. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's what I'm getting. Let me get a song. Listen to the Music by the Doobie Brothers. Oop, what happened? Any messages from God for the rest of the week? You need to hear what's not being said this week. This is like not in the right spot. You need to hear what's not being said this week. And I just moved that. There's a need to shift perspective from what people are saying to focus on what's being avoided. There's like some kind of message for you in what's being avoided this week. And you'll be able to pick up on it if you figure out what topics someone is uncomfortable talking about. This usually just the one person, right? Because it's the hanged man, but this is the scene after. So someone's coming to give this person nourishment. So it's like you'll receive the answer in what is not being said or what is being avoided. What am I missing in my healing process with a song? Can't Be Broken by Lil Wayne. I'm going to go to the other list in a second. Stress and burnout, unresolved grief. There's something specific you're avoiding facing, and it's draining your energy more than you're recognizing. There's an opportunity to heal it being presented to you now. It's identifying this unresolved grief. For some reason, I'm feeling called to say, look up songs that like type into something like unresolved grief, see what songs come up. I feel like it'll point you to the right song because that was very specific when that song came up. All right, let me go to this list for a little bit. I may close super chat soon because they're at 29 already. Just a heads up. Any messages from my spirit guides and a song? Damage by Caleb Hearn. The lyrics, the damage. It's all the damage in the end that makes me who I am. It feels like there's a bit of social isolation here, and it's not going to last forever. There's some either social setting you'd like to be in, or there's some kind of social discomfort because of what you're dealing with privately. Whatever it is, it's going to switch soon. You're going to start to feel more comfortable. It almost feels like you expect this to just last forever and be the way it is now, but it's not. Things are going to start to shift. How will E respond when I reach out? I'm because you're reaching out, I'm taking some kind of action to avoid giving you clarity. So this could be avoidance altogether, or this could be avoidance of what it is that you're reaching out about, or avoidance of something that comes up in the midst of a conversation. 5 biopsies. What do you see for the outcome and a song? Head Start by Lucidius. I'm not saying that right. Defiance is imminent when there's lying and hypocrites. No denying the incidents. I feel like there's going to be something that ends up being something else. Almost like, I don't know if it's you're given like a 5 out of 10 type thing and it ends up being a 2 out of 10. Something like that. It feels like there's something that's going to need to be addressed here, but there's healing that comes, or there's a solution that comes. I do feel like there's going to need to be a period of recovery, though, from something. So I don't know if that's from the biopsies themselves or something additional testing because of the biopsies, but it feels like there's an issue that is in the minor category that ends up being a solution to it. Message from my mother-in-law regarding her son's recent diagnosis. How can I help him through it? It's not over. There's an opportunity here to correct course. Help him find the outlet. Almost like talking about this may be difficult, but there's a need to still release that. I feel like there's a certain trigger involved in this diagnosis. I don't know if it's like her having a similar diagnosis or someone. It's like subconsciously he's linking this to something else that's like intertwined with it. And that is causing the feeling of like, I guess like mortality. It's not like it's whatever's linked to this is causing the deeper recesses of panic, but he almost like doesn't know how to identify that to express it. So is unable to talk about it because I can't really figure out where the itch is coming from. I just know it itches, if that makes sense, hypothetically. A different way to help him identify or to help him process without directly identifying that it's linked to something else, if that makes sense. We have been together in dreams. Sometimes I move your things around. Sorry, I found something missing. Something missing. It feels like you're going to start getting messages in either meditation or dreams. Look for what's not there. Whatever is not there is your key to how to help him more specifically, if that makes sense. So let's say you're having a dream where like you live in a tent. It's something within the house that's going to be helpful, or it's something like that. Something in my eye. Are my spiritual ancestors not from Earth or not completely of human descent? My spiritual ancestors not from Earth. Both. Some yes, some no. But for some reason, with the not completely of human descent, I'm feeling called to say, like, shift the way that the question is being asked. Almost like spirits before they were human or after they were human, as opposed to not of human descent. It's like the human part is the experience that they have, and then they go back to like original form type of thing, if that kind of makes sense. So like the human descent part was a part of their journey, but not who they are. I guess that's how to word it. I'm going to do 2 more here and then go back to the other list. Does my mom now realize that my neck is done since the surgeon confirmed it? Does my sister care? Feels like your mom is still in denial. Is it possible she still thinks that something else can be done or that someone's gonna like a second opinion may give different results? It feels like that's what she thinks. So does she realize your neck is done? No. It feels like she's in denial. Does my sister care? See how her back is to this? It's like I'm avoiding it too. I'm avoiding thinking about it. I'm avoiding unpacking it. I'm avoiding talking to you about it. It's almost like it's not even a matter of care because she's trying to not even accept, if that makes sense. There's a lot of avoidance in both of their energy. Will Steven get the help he needs? Yes, but the first, like, he gets help, right? That might not be the extent of the help he needs. He may need more additional help, but it does feel like he's going to begin to get the help he needs. Let me go back to this list. Where was? Will the second fascia release course be beneficial and in what way? Something that you found difficult the first round, or something that you maybe understood incorrectly the first round, or like something that has an like an update type of thing. Something that makes it easier to identify something is going to be represented to you. So it will be beneficial, yes, specifically for that one piece. Feels like a lot of it you'll already know or be able to figure out on your own, but there's one piece that you get from it that's very important. Something about identifying, I don't know, I guess maybe where the issue is or what to do with the issue, if that aligns with that. Will my sister-in-law have the baby within the week, boy or girl? In the week. Heading in the right direction. So I was saying about 5 to 14 days, and I got heading in the right direction. I think it's going to be at least 5 days, but not as many as 14. That's as specific as I'm getting right now. Boy or girl? Let's see. Rethink, reconsider. I'm not getting a solid answer on gender. I'm almost wondering if you're not supposed to know. Maybe they've put out the intention for nobody to know, or maybe I'm just not getting I don't want to give you an answer if I'm not confident in it. What does the CEO of the hospital, Mike's true thoughts of the hospital or mainly kitchen? What are his true thoughts? Something needs new management or something needs a new person in charge. Something is going out quicker than it's coming in, and it's somebody who's in charge's fault. Is that my mother's face that appeared after she died a few days later? I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying committed. Not able to talk a different way. Want you to see me. Yes, I would say yes. Oh, as a soul, I can be in several places at once. Yes. And a unicorn, like the mystical version of the horse. So like the angel, the mystical version of the human. Message and a song. Want to by Sugarland. We can leave here just the same, something, something the way we came. There's some kind of idea that's coming to you here, almost like an idea from the past that you're meant to resurrect. I don't know if this is like a business idea or like a lifestyle change idea. You're meant to be embarking on this new beginning. It's something that you're going to receive signs of externally. It feels like this is already happening. It's some kind of major change that you're being led to make. Is the Taurus good for me long term? It depends. I guess if it's an older one, it feels like there's going to be a bigger issue than you expect. If it's a newer one, it feels like there may be an issue sooner than it should be. So there's going to be something that you're going to need to put money into or something that you're going to need to come up with a solution for. It does feel like if you make that choice, it'll be doable, but it feels like there's some frustration that comes with it, like an unforeseen issue. Should we buy a home in Sicily? Is there somewhere like close that would be close enough that might not be as expensive, or maybe like it's taxes that are high? I don't know, but like it feels like close but no cigar. Like you're in the right idea, but not maybe not in the exact right location, or maybe like on the outskirts of said location, as opposed to like if you're looking more in like a city focused part. What wound should I work on next? Where did I just put? Oh, 1 second. Don't fall on the floor. What wound? Psychic attacks and inner teenager. It feels like the effect that your inner teenager is having on your mind. Maybe there's some rebellion. Maybe there's some lack of fun is kind of what I'm feeling. It feels like whatever's causing you to not be present in the moment is causing your inner teenager to rebel. Fire and Gold by B. Miller. B-E-A. Fire and Gold. Fire would be like Ace of Wands, new beginning. Gold would be some kind of creativity. Creative elements or creative solutions, it feels like. Let me go back to this list. I am going to close super chats. The last one will be Georgina R. Message from A. That'll be the last one. Okay, I did that one. 1 second. A past life that has the most significance to this life I'm living now. Past life. Abusive relationship is coming out. Performer. Wisdom keeper. You dealt with a lot at home in your home life that was not very positive, but you put on a face like everything was fine to the external world. And it feels like what it did was cause you to go inward and align with your gifts, talents, abilities. That card had the moon on it. So it feels like it caused you to become very spiritual because of the trauma that you were carrying. Did my mom know and hear us while we were talking to her while she was in the hospital? Death in reverse would be a big yes. Like I'm still here in that way. I have not left yet. I'm still here. I have not left yet. She did. I am one of your spirit guides helping you along with your spiritual ascension. And what I'm being drawn to is the ladder. It's like I'm still here. I didn't leave yet. I didn't go up the ladder yet. I'm still with you for what you're saying. 1 second. She wants a song. I want to hold your hand by the Beatles. Message from feather that fell in my hand. Kind of looks like a feather. So a feather like goes like this and comes down, right? Imagine that in reverse, like going up. You need to see something from a higher perspective, almost like look down on the situation as opposed to straight on at the situation. It may be that you're overthinking something that is slightly more simple and you're being guided to take like a light-hearted approach to it. You may be thinking something is worst case scenario when it may not be that way. And a different perspective will allow you to see that. A token. A pencil with number 86 on it. You are the author of your story. You're the author of what comes next by your choices and decisions. And it's okay to write someone out of the story if they are not bringing positivity or trust into it. If it's costing you your peace, it's too expensive. How does my dad feel about my sister getting rid of his stuff and what she's done with his trust? I understand it, but there's something about the speed or there's something about the release. I almost want to say like it's kind of like unexpectedly expected. There's something about speed that he's not happy about. It feels like, I guess I'd word it like this. It feels like there were multiple choices and it was not the best choice out of those. But it feels like for some reason that's on purpose. That's how I would want to word that. What is one thing I should do or keep or change? What is one thing I should do, keep or change to see more sales in my business? Could you go on a podcast or could you do some kind of podcast type series or like event or like something like that? It almost feels like this is an idea you've considered but didn't go through with. It may be a fear of failure, it may be a fear of being seen, but whatever the fear is that's one of those or similar, it feels like taking an action that would push through that that fear. So let's say it's the fear of failure if I do something like that and step out in a different way. It's like your willingness to do it removes the blockage to whatever was associated with that money wound before. So taking a step in the opposite direction of the fear of failure, fear of being seen, fear of almost like fear of like marketing in a certain way. I can't figure out exactly what the piece of it is though. Let me go back to this list. Hmm. When will my husband's lawsuit be done? I feel like something or someone is trying to slow part of it down. I feel like you have some kind of date in mind. I feel like it's about 7 to 10 months past that date. There's some kind of delay that feels purposeful. Um, will I find romantic love in the another long-term relationship? I feel like there's healing needed first before that can happen. Not that it's not going to happen, but it feels like right now, without that particular part of healing, you're going to attract someone who's going to give you the opportunity to heal that wound so you are ready for love. So needing to heal that wound first feels very important. Feels like it surrounds vulnerability or lack thereof, or comfort with vulnerability or lack thereof. Message from mom and dad for tomorrow. There's a need to not get too ahead of yourself or to allow your mind to run away with you. Figure out almost like a safe word with yourself to bring yourself back to center when you need it, whether that's like a mantra you repeat or something. It's like don't let don't let your thoughts step on the gas too much of your mind and let it run away with you. There's a need to like figure out a way that you can bring yourself back to center if and when needed. You said I would meet my soulmate in 3 years. Do I know him already? Like you may know of him or you may have mutual connections, but I don't think you know him like in a personal way. I don't think it's someone that you would be like, "Oh, we're going from this to this." It's not that. Like friends to romance, it's not that. I had a dream I was talking to a woman, I could see her clearly. I later saw her and realized she was a spirit and everyone else could not see her. They weren't supposed to see her because it's someone that's connected to you specifically. Almost like a new guide introducing themselves to you, but it's like an angel who it's their time to reconnect with you. Feels like someone you've known personally. It does feel like they're gonna show up back. It does feel like they are going to show back up though. What tools can I utilize to release my deeply embedded subconscious money wound? Let's see what it's connected to. Oh. Body spirit dissonance. Spiritual and social in reverse. It's relating to the fear of being seen. Perfectionism mindset in reverse. If I can't be perfect, I fear being seen. Whether that be like an offer that you have available that you are fearing subconsciously pushing it out on the next level, or whether that be like you showing up and being seen. Yeah, that's what needs to be released to be able to move forward. Fear of being seen. The money wound is related to the fear of being seen. So even like subliminals or meditations that focus on like, I'm safe to be seen. I am safe to advertise my offers that I know I put a lot of work into. Those type of mindset shifts. Is CF cheating on me? No, but I feel like what you're picking up on is this person not being all the way sure of what they want and not knowing how to communicate that to you. I don't see cheating, but I see like, I feel like if I tell you what's really on my mind, it's going to lead to something negative. So I'm just kind of trying to figure it out on my own, but I'm not making progress. Whether that be around commitment or like the pace of the relationship, I'm not sure which one. It feels like something like that. Is there some payout that my family were waiting on that I should have passed last year? There's something they're waiting on, but it doesn't feel like it's that. Oh. There's something that they're waiting on, but it doesn't feel like it's that. Is it possible, like, waiting for maybe you to be deemed, like, not credible or not mentally well, something like that? It feels like they were waiting for that, not necessarily a passing, but there's something. I'm being referenced to like Britney Spears conservatorship type of thing. That's what's coming to my mind. Message from Nikki McCain. Will they find her? Did husband unalive her? She disappeared in California. Will they find her? Yes, but they're not looking in the right spot. They need to shift perspective. I don't know if that means a wider search zone or if they're just not in the right, like, if she's in water and they're looking in the woods type of thing, for example. Did husband unalive her? There's a third party involved. I don't know if that's if this is saying yes because of a third party. I don't know if it's saying he got a third party to do it, but it feels like there's 3 people or 2 people besides Nikki that know what happened. So I don't know if it's him or someone he had do it. My online sales business is stagnant. What action can I take to increase sales or pivot in another direction? What can you do differently to make you stand out from the competition and then use that as like your strategy? Um, And it feels like something needs to be made more clear, whether that be like your website, whether that be your business model, almost like either it needs to be made clear to the audience or the more clarity you have on it, the better it will be. It feels like you can pour into what you're doing now. It doesn't feel like you need to pivot direction. It just feels like it needs to be marketed differently or advertised differently. Yeah, the truth. Ace of Swords, something with communication, the way you're communicating with clients, the way that you are marketing the why. I don't know why I'm hearing that. Marketing the why or marketing like the how. Kind of like a behind the scenes type thing. I don't know if that makes sense. Getting people involved in a different part of the or a bigger part of the purpose. What happened to me spiritually as a result of the most recent moon activity? It's more about what's happening around you. You've completed a cycle, and now you're going to see in other situations what you escaped or left behind, um, for your benefit. So, like, I guess I'd say like an increase in your ability to stay in observer mode is allowing you to see what was previously holding you back. So you're no longer being held back from it, and you're going to see what it was that was holding you back. Will I get a good paying job this year? I feel like you're going to find a stepping stone. I don't know if it's where you want to ultimately be yet to really restore the balance, but it feels like you're getting something and it's a step in the right direction, but it's not, there's going to be another step after that. So this year I would say no, but something by the end of the year, yes. Mm. Is T the right person for H? For now, there's some kind of major lesson that at least one of them has to learn here, um, to find out about what they do and do not want. It feels like there eventually will be some kind of ending, whether that be permanent or temporary. Message from my spirit guides. You took a step back from someone or something that you didn't want to take a step back from, and you weren't sure that you made the right decision because you didn't see anything come of it yet, but you're going to start to receive clarity on this. You're going to start to receive clarity on what you avoided by taking a step back or pulling your energy back. Let me go to this list for a minute. Remember, thank you. Where did I put that other deck? There it is. You treat people and speak to them from your soul. You operate from your spiritual side, and they respond to you from their human side, and that is what hurts. Feels like you made a decision recently that opened up your heart more, and that can sometimes be painful, but it's happening because you're ready. What does stepdaughter think of me? Either you're like a tough cookie or you're hard to read. Um, or maybe she thinks that you feel those things about her. So it's one or the other. I can't tell which way it's going. It's either she feels like you're the tough cookie and hard to read, or she feels like you think that way about her. Is my grandma going to help clear any obstacles to buying her house? No, because there's a lesson in there for you. It's almost like she's saying, like, you got this. Like you are the one who your soul wanted to show yourself something, and she's helped put the obstacles in place, or like her what she's leaving behind has helped put the obstacles in place so that you can complete the lesson. Will this holiday work out okay? You were right about something being off. The room is a hovel. Will this holiday weekend work out okay? It's almost like there's a fork in the road and you didn't expect the fork to be in the road. So like instead of getting to do everything, you have to choose one path, and all the things aren't on the one path because they're spread amongst the three. Will it work out okay? It feels like yes, but like there's something lacking. It feels like no issues, just more of like, I wish this could have gone differently, or I wish we could have gotten to do this and we didn't and we planned to type of thing. I'm gonna do 2 more and then back to the other list. Heard mouse noise, computer mouse broke, attack. Oh yeah. Did the mouse cause the computer mouse? That's what you mean, right? Yes, going there, breaking through the wall. Death in reverse. I feel like the mouse would still be alive. The human or the animal mouse, but not the computer mouse. I feel like yes, you're on to something. Any advice or direction from spirit team or song? Medication by The Collection is the song. There's a need to focus on you right now. I don't know if that's like, if for some reason I'm feeling like you literally need to be away from people for a minute in order to regain the ability to sit with yourself in silence. Almost like you're trying to figure out what comes next in some area, and the answer comes from being away from everybody else's opinions or thoughts for a moment so you can collect your own. All right, last one, then back to the other list. Is you supplement good for me? What's that? What's in reverse? Yes, just make sure, because there may be something else that you have to be careful with the combination of. I don't know if that's like other medicine you've been taking or something. I feel like yes, but there's a need to like double check maybe with doctors first. Um, and let them know everything else that you're doing and taking to make sure that it's okay in that case. All right, going back to this list. One second. Spirit guides, I did that. What help do Mark's parents and guides have for him getting back into the job market? Direction, location, position to avoid best opportunity. Avoid doing whatever he was last doing. It feels like there's something that's better in terms of finances. No, in terms of stress. Whatever the last thing he was doing is, there's a skill that he used in that he can tunnel vision in on that skill, but not to do the exact same thing that he was last doing. There's either no need for that type of stress, or the stress of getting in the door of that type of thing again would be not worth it. So there's like one particular skill he used in that position that he could narrow tunnel vision in on and find the best opportunity for himself. My husband seems really bummed lately. Is there a reason for this? Also, does he have any messages from his mom? Kind of giving like something has happened that's making me realize how fast life is moving, or how closely I'm approaching to blank something, insert whatever a fear might be that he has. I guess I'd say like fear of the future, but it feels more like existential fear of the future. But I almost feel like he's not recognizing that that's what it is, and he's just getting angry or upset about little things to try and avoid unpacking why he has this underlying like persistent fear. Queen and King of Cups. Wondering how long ago his mom passed. I don't know if it's maybe he's been thinking about that specifically or other people passing. It's almost like he's starting to realize his own mortality type of thing. But also avoiding that thought. It feels like just holding space for him right now until he feels ready to begin to unpack that. Messages from my spirit guides and a song. It's a Big Deal by Binx, Bingx. It's a big deal. There's a need to protect whatever plans you have right now by not really revealing too much to other people until it's time. This is either about an idea you already have or an idea that's going to come to you. Almost like the more you talk about it with other people, it's like letting gas out of the tank, and then you won't have the full gas tank to get to where you need to go. So there's a need to kind of keep it close to the chest right now with some kind of idea that's going to end up being more important than it may seem initially. My son blocked me again. Is his wife having influenced him? When does she stop the revenge and punishment on me? Yeah, it's like I feel like the unblocking is being viewed as like, why would you do that to me, as in the wife? So like, I thought we talked about this. Why did you unblock type of thing? That's kind of the energy I'm getting. I don't know if that might even be like a direct quote. Why did you Why did you do this to me type of thing? Why did you call? I can't deal with this stress right now. It's kind of the energy I'm feeling from her. And he doesn't know what else to do to put down the burden because of the connection between him and her. I feel like he's going to need to put his foot down, and I don't know if he's ready to do that yet. What will be the trigger for Jay to finally let go and leave? Lack of passion around manipulation. So Jay will have to see that the other person is not trying as hard to get their lies to look like truth or to get their deception to look like honesty. Almost like Jay needs to see the mask fall. Almost like the person gets lazy about their manipulation. Yeah, and that's what gives the reason to leave. The other person needs to get lazy with their manipulation. Should I make the first move with Alex and ask him for coffee? No. No. Let him. You can kind of maybe like, no. Never mind. I don't think you should. I think you should wait. What is coming? What is next to come with C? Something you don't know about in C's life eases up, and that allows this person to start to either have more fun with the connection or be more vulnerable within the connection. But it feels like it's not something like that you need to do differently to cause this. It's something that C's dealing with on C's end that gets easier for C, and then C can show up more in the context of the connection. God's Plan by Drake. A Rose and number 71. God's Plan. Everything you lose is not a loss. Sometimes redirection is divine protection. You will find that whatever is falling away is going to be replaced by something much better. You just have to be the observer and allow it to happen for you and not allow your ego to convince you it's happening to you. Go to this list for a minute. Please remember that super chats are closed. I did that one. After I went out and saw my high school crush 30 years ago, it scared me, but always having to look good leaving the house with anxiety. That situation happened to trigger the deeper wound to come to the surface for you to heal it. It's kind of like it's giving like this too shall pass. Don't think it's going to feel this way forever. It's not. It's the fear of being seen. It's the fear of the deeper wound coming to the surface. Loneliness wound. Sensitivity overload. It feels like needing to focus on self-concept, needing to focus on healing from the specific relationship that made you feel less than. It's that coming to the surface through this interaction that deeper healing is needed. That's why you were triggered in that way. But after you do that healing, you'll find yourself not caring as much about having to get ready to leave. Should I do my YouTube podcast channel with someone else or alone? Can you have guests instead of doing it with someone else in like a collaboration? I feel like alone, but at some point it would be helpful to bring in either a guest or like what's that called? Like a spotlight type thing, like where someone comes in maybe for like a couple episodes. But I feel like in terms of the business part of it, like the planning, the strategy, the decisions, that needs to be alone. But in order to get to another step, eventually, you'll need to have someone else come in a communication. Sorry, I don't know why it's still doing that. But in order to get to the next step at some point, there'll be a need to bring in someone else in the communication part. So like interviewing someone or um, discussing something with someone to that something to that extent. Messages from my guides on life and health and a song. I Am Not Okay by Jelly Roll. Whatever it is that you're going through right now, you're in the bulk of it. You're in the hard part of it. You're in the like 80% up the mountain type energy. You're exhausted, but you have to continue to the top of the mountain. You're going to find a solution here, but the solution is like you have to go through the full experience in order to get to the solution. So whatever it is, I guess I'd say hang in there a little bit longer because you have the strength and stamina to push through it still, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. And do two more and then go to the other list. I feel as if I'm getting a message from a loved one while on the phone with mom. It's all muffled and crazy. A message of love. Message from a loved one while on the phone with mom. Who would be connected to your mom that would be trying to get a I don't know why that keeps happening. I'm gonna try and put the other internet on in a second. Who is connected to your mom that would be trying to get a message to your mom? It feels like it's that person. It's a direct connection to her. Person's coming out as the King of Wands. Did the AI-powered paranormal communication device show me fire back to back? This has never happened, and it was multiple different images of fire. Yes, and it has a specific meaning to something you've been looking into lately or a specific meaning to some kind of message that your guides have been trying to give you lately. Almost like you called in a specific confirmation or you called in a specific solution, and this was the delivery of it. Like your guides using the tools that were already in place, like killing two birds with one stone type thing. Let me go back here. Why does this move me? Hold on. Token, I did that one. Is it depression or what I've thought it is for years? Is would both be an answer? It feels like it's what you thought. You're seeing that clearly, but could that have also caused depression on top of it, and the issue could be coming from both? Um is it possible the stress caused from whatever you thought it was from years caused also depression? It feels like it's a combination. Oh, and the song is Never Alone by Lady A. Never Alone. It's a combination. Messages from guides. It feels like there's gonna be some kind of event that you're gonna end up not going to that you initially planned to go to. Don't be too stressed out about it because there's a reason you're not going, a reason that you can't see. Not anything like catastrophic, more just like a battle you don't need or a setback you don't need. So whatever recently didn't work out or is going to fall through by the end of the year, don't get too frustrated. It's a positive thing, even though it seems frustrating. Token. I don't know what that is. 54. Serpentine shape. Hard to understand, confusing, or cunning. That's fair. That was hard to understand. Looks like a road. Hard to understand. Oh, it's that quote that's like, from the outside looking in, it's hard to understand. From the inside looking out, it's hard to explain. You're going through something like that right now. So it may feel like you're on the outside looking in, but that's so that you are in observer mode because observer mode helps you realize what comes next. Mm, 1 second. What is the source of my block? What is the source of my block? Unhealthy coping mechanisms. True self disconnection. There's something you're avoiding, and it's like either you're numbing or distracting yourself away, and it's causing you to not really trust your intuition. It feels this Page of Wands is all about self exploration. And this is like sooner rather than later. There's a need to look at what it is you've been avoiding because it's having bigger ramifications on like other parts of your life than you're realizing. Something surrounding vulnerability or lack thereof, or closure or lack thereof. Oh, let me go to this list. Hold on. Can you give me a message from my grandfather to my grandmother or her or for me? To her. There's something he's encouraging her to do that they used to do together that she has stopped doing that would help her in some way. It doesn't feel like It feels like something in, like, routine, habit, day to day, as opposed to, like, date night or something. Like, it feels like he's encouraging her to take care of herself in a way that she's not doing, that she used to do, that she needs to. Um, yes. It's gonna help her start to feel like herself again. Something that either he encouraged her to do while he was here, or something that he would do with her maybe, or something that she did consistently when he was here. Something about taking care of herself in a way that she's not doing right now. That's All by Genesis, and it's the 2007 remaster. So 2007 may be significant to what this is. That's all. I get it. I've gone through my life review and there's still so many lessons to be learned. He's like, you know that you need this, or you know to this is something that you would need. It's like she already knows, she's just not engaging with. Mini message and a song from Grandma Eileen. Hey Brother by Avicii. There's an endless road to rediscover. Water is sweet, but blood is thicker. There's a need to readdress something here. Almost like put yourself in observer mode and go back through the last obstacle that you faced and figure out if there would have been a different solution to this. What would that solution have been? There's some kind of lesson in that, or some kind of growth in that, or some kind of like rebuilding that's blocked if you don't go back and look at that. Almost like a what would she do type message. But I don't really think it's what would she do. It's almost like what would the higher self version of you do? Message for the week, a token, and a song. Curious George by Nate Rose. I don't know what that is. It's either a hot dog or a pickle. 16. Fork in sausage. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Exhausted, had enough. Curious George. You have all the answers. You're searching for more answers on something. You have all the answers that you need in order to make the decision or the choice. You don't need more proof in order to free yourself from this mental prison that you're trapped in. Yeah, look at that. Continuing to try and unpack it before making changes based off of what you already know is only going to lead to a cycle of not being sure about yourself, or a cycle of indecision, or like analysis paralysis. So to avoid analysis paralysis, make a decision based off of the information you already have. Even if you feel like you need more information to make a decision, you don't. You're putting yourself into a cycle or a loop here. Feels like it has something to do with rededicating your energy, like pulling it away from certain things to put it into something else, or some kind of connection that has served its purpose. Or if you're helping someone else with their issues, it may be time to start to pull back and let them deal with the rest of it on their own. I'm going to get this down to 10 and then go back to the other list. So 2 more. What is happening with me? Everything seems off. There's some kind of lesson that you're not learning, or like not seeing, almost like needing to correct the imbalance before moving forward, but the imbalance, the root of it has not been identified yet. Is there an idea or a change that's been on your mind that you've been avoiding because you're being guided to take action on it? Almost like you thought of something and then stopped thinking of it and continued on, but that was important. There's a need to go back and readdress that. Interesting. Can't Go Back Now by the Weepies came on. So I'm saying go back and readdress it. This says can't go back now. It's like go back and address it before you get too far ahead of it. That's why things seem off. It's a purposeful delay so that you can take whatever that is with you in terms of wisdom. Did Boston police officer John O'Keefe's partner Pat Rogers really self-delete, or is there more to that story? So in my head, I said some kind of tug of war of information, and I got confirmed with the puzzle pieces. Some kind of increasing tension with a tug of war of information has something to do with what happened there. There's more to the story. Back on the other list, 1 second. Song and message after this really intense eclipse energy. Chess by Nate Rose. I think I'm playing chess. I see a king. I'm at his neck. Your guides woke you up to a certain energy right in the nick of time, because something with the moon energy would have served as the illusion that covered your eyes for longer. You had to learn something before the moon, because if the moon happened and you didn't come to that realization yet, it would have been a more intense lesson that you did not need. So the abruptness of something prepared you to not go through a prolonged incidence of doubting yourself. And your guides are playing chess against someone else who only knows how to play checkers. Am I about to come into some inheritance from my father's side? I feel like that's a bit away if that's the case. Would it be a woman on the father's side of your family? And would there be someone else with the means to try and fight what's being given out to other people? I don't know if that's like a grandmother and then the direct child of the grandmother or something like that. It feels like someone's trying to step in and delay other people getting stuff so they can see if they can get it for themselves. And it feels like it's a bit away, not close. Mm. Why is T being avoidant? It's easier for me to not say anything than to get tripped up in what I do say or to say something incorrectly. I need to say if I talk, I need to say something and I don't feel like I can bite my tongue, so it's easier for me to avoid it for right now. Until my own emotions die down. Any message from Tim or Jan and a song? Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash is the song. Sometimes not getting what you want allows you to get what you actually need. There's some form of divine redirection that has recently occurred. You didn't do anything to cause this. You are being protected from some kind of communication that would not be efficient. No, you were being protected from some kind of communication that would not have been productive in your growth. It would have caused some kind of self-doubt. So the redirection was protection in that way. Thank you. It's cool. Why do I keep losing this stack? One of these. As you release things not meant for you, you'll be brought new ones that better align with your magic. Don't waste your rarity trying to convince anyone of it. Just keep being rare until someone realizes it and won't treat you like anything less than what you are, which is rare. Sometimes people need to see themselves out of our lives to make space for people who are going to be more supportive or more loving. Whoever is pulling back their energy, it's to make space for someone who you need at this point on your journey. And do 3 more, then go back to the other list. What can you see being the outcome if pictures from the hospital kitchen, mold and unclean, were to get out to the public? Public can't protect our image once it gets out. Need to keep it private to put down the heavy burden. They know the reaction would be very bad. Is this the one where I said it was like someone, like a leadership was blamed? I'm wondering if the reaction of that would be to put it all on that one person. Like, it's this person's fault. This person missed the checks and balances. They weren't doing their job. We're going to get rid of this person and blame it all on them. It feels like that would likely be their choice of how to handle it. Chances, 5 for fighting. To give ourselves a fighting shot, we're going to put it all on this one person and get rid of them. Should I move to the beach or stay local? I feel like local is better for right now, but that may be a plan that you want to kind of get all the ducks in a row for the future. But I feel like for right now, there's a need to wait on that, the location change. Message from higher self, token, and a song. Tell Him That I'm Coming by Lathan Warlick. And it has someone who's playing a trumpet on the cover. Interesting. Laundry on a Line. I want to see what they wrote in here for that. 22. Hung out to dry, abandoned by the people who previously supported you. Tell them that I'm coming. Interesting. Someone's about to realize that they chose wrong when it came to how they treated you. Knight of Cups in reverse. Someone's about to realize that their decision to pull back their energy from you was not the correct decision, and it led to things almost like one purposeful secrecy led to 10 lies to cover the purposeful secrecy, and someone's about to realize that they didn't have to do that when it came to you. They chose wrong. Not feeling well lately. Any messages for me? It feels like there's a need to address something further that you addressed but didn't bring solution to. I'm wondering if this is a second opinion on something or if it's like mental, emotional type health needing to express, needing to release. And it's like the not feeling well is a manifestation of that. It feels like it's one or the other. It's almost like you took a step forward and then maybe you started to feel a little better and went backwards on some kind of change that you were going to make, or there's like a second opinion thing type needed here. It feels like it's the manifestation of like prolonged stress or prolonged anxiety that's like built up to a point that it's causing physical pieces to come into play from it. Go to this list. Where am I? Why am I having such a hard time accepting my daughter's divorce and any guidance on how to be okay with it? You didn't want this for her. I feel like part of it is you're putting yourself into her shoes maybe a little bit too much. And maybe that is kind of where the hamster wheel of sadness is coming from, or like frustration is coming from. It's like maybe you're feeling like if you could have been in her shoes, you could have helped her see things to help prevent it, but it feels like this was a lesson that needed to unfold in this way. And it's almost like because of your previous experiences, you're feeling what you feel her emotions are if you were in her shoes, but it almost feels like she's a little bit more okay with it because she had the firsthand experience that made her realize that this is what needed to happen, if that makes sense. I do feel like there's a need to either talk through these emotions with someone you trust, or maybe there's a conversation you need to have with her so you can realize where she's at to help take some of that burden off of yourself. We are looking for 2 items we cannot find. Did my dad hide them prior to his passing? I mean, I can't tell if it's he hid them or he got rid of them. He did something with them purposefully to conceal them before his passing. It's like a one-way street. I send them out, they don't come back. I don't know if this is like I sold them or I got rid of them or like I hid them somewhere where I wasn't intending you to find them. How is RJ doing? September is a tough month for her. Better externally than internally. It feels like internally, I feel like a fish out of water. I feel like there's a lot of emotions that have come in that I'm not used to dealing with on the regular, or like there's an increase in emotions that I'm used to dealing with on the regular, but it feels intense because they're all coming up at once. Almost like I feel like this person may say something to themselves like, man, another year and I still didn't find the tools of how to deal with this better. Feels like they're kind of in that energy. So I guess I'd say similar to other years. But like with added frustration of not being different yet. Go. I'm gonna finish these last 3. What is going on with Connor lately? I'm trying to come up with solutions for something. None of my solutions are causing things to get better, and I'm starting to not trust my ability to come up with other solutions. A lack of self-trust due to being unable to make progress on something despite me trying. I don't know if it's a connection he didn't want to end, or an opportunity that didn't pan out the way he intended, but it feels like it's affecting the way he's able to show up socially. Almost like I'm uncomfortable socially because I'm not trusting myself from something I was dealing with privately. Any answers to why my dad's plane crashed? Final thoughts. Any suffering? It feels like something was not communicated properly about something that was looked into. So, for example, this was fixed. I give the green light, say it's fine. It's not fine. And it feels like whatever that was, that there was like steps skipped, it ended up, there was something that went wrong. You have the necessary information is on the bottom of the deck. And this one says right side up. You have the right information. I almost feel like somebody signed off on something knowing it wasn't 100%, and that is the thing that ended up going wrong. That's how I'm being called to word that. Any suffering? No, just more of like knowing what he was leaving behind, but on a soul level, it's like before I knew it, I was disconnected. It's not what I wanted, but I was able to go right into what comes next. So I feel like minimal suffering, more just like a last minute realization, oh crap, like I'm leaving everyone behind. That hurts type thing. And then before you know it, I'm over. Message from A, please. Listen to what people say, but watch what people do. You're going to find your answer in what someone does, regardless of what they're saying, so that you can make the proper decision for yourself. All right, I'm going back to this list to finish. Please remember that super chats are closed. I'm going to stay on for about 17 more minutes. Who are my spirit guides and any messages for me? You've had the same spirit guides that have been with you since the moment that changed everything in your life. It feels like you kind of, I don't know if it's a person who passed. It feels like there's a person who passed in combination with spirit guides that were not people that you knew. And it feels like there's some significance in when those two came together at that moment in your life that changed everything. Any messages for you? You embody the light that lights the path forward. So the light that you're seeking comes from within. It's not going to be something external you find. There's a need to shift perspective right now when it comes to that. You already have all that you need. You just need to figure out how to utilize it. Why is it so easy to abuse me physically and emotionally when I could never be that way to someone? Or psychically and emotionally. It's been this way since I was a child. That's exactly why, because you would never see it coming. And because you don't jump into judgment, you have always tried to see the good in people or make excuses for people or allow them space to step into better choices. So it's almost like that has painted you as kind of like an easy target for the energies that get some kind of fix out of not being alone with their darkness because they dump it onto you because they know that you'll hold the cup out there to try and get them to have less in their cup, so you'll hold some of it for them. And that's essentially what feels to be happening. It's like the energies that are behind why they do those things, it's the energies behind those things, like the demons behind those energies, that view you as someone who will help to hold the pain and then hopefully not give it back. They're hoping you don't give it back. They're hoping that you don't see that it's affecting you negatively. Trying to see if there's anyone I did not get. Message and a song. Raise Hell by Ryan Oakes. Every time you address something with someone, it doesn't mean that you're causing an argument or you're being dramatic. Sometimes things just need to be addressed. There's a need to not second guess yourself when this comes up in the near future. You're not causing a fight by addressing something that you're uncomfortable with or something that you want changed. You're just communicating in an emotionally healthy way. So allow yourself to have that conversation, even if it's uncomfortable at first. How can I heal the block? I don't know what it is or who it's referring to. The way that someone projected onto you their insecurities. This was a situation that there was passion in or intensity in, and it died. And you have some kind of internal dialogue that has been projected onto you from that person, and that's kind of where the block is coming from. So it's either their inability to communicate or the way that their communication made you feel about yourself. Oh, Jay is the manipulative one. Oh, so you needed to see it clearly to be willing to leave him. Okay. That won't accept the relationship is over and he needs to move out. Okay. Discovered he was doing domination. He's using the children in order to stay. There's going to need to be some kind of final I don't know if it's final like court ordered paperwork about different things affecting the children, whether that be custody or finances or something like that. It's almost like it's going to be difficult to get him out until there's that finality of the paperwork involved. He will, but he's going to try and hold on to control at all possible. Okay, so you needed to see that in order to make the decision. So he needs to then see that your decision is final in order to leave. They found Elijah View's remains. Mom and boyfriend still in jail, pleading not guilty. One of them's going to turn on the other in order to get a better deal or out of something. What was that one? That was the one where they sent him to like the boot camp, right? She was the mom. She sent him to the boot camp of the guy. Who would turn on who? I feel like she would likely turn on him. If something happened when Elijah was there, I feel like it'd be more likely for her to turn on him because she could say he did it and she knew and didn't report, but he did it. I feel like one of them's going to turn. It's like, I'm offering you something so that they go down and not me. Yeah, the Lover's in reverse. In order to get what I need out of this, I need to turn on this group mindset that we had. I feel like someone's going to turn on another now that they have what they need in terms of like evidence to push them into some kind of confession. What was the real reason I lost my job of 15 years? Was the new COO threatened by me? I can see that being the case. It feels like whoever, so for example, person A goes to person B, person A says, hey, we need to fire this worker, right? But it feels like whatever the reason that was given to the person who made the decision, there was a lie or deception in that. So someone went to a higher up with this decision, and what they were saying was the reason was not true. So that could be something like someone being threatened by you, or that could be someone who thought you knew something that they didn't want you to know, or thought that you saw something they didn't want you to see. It's something like that. It's like, in order to get myself out of this issue, you have to go type thing. Can you ask if my Nana Hughes has a message for me? I don't know if campfire is significant, or if it's saying that there's light needing to be shown on something here to make a decision sooner rather than later to restore the balance. Whatever's throwing you off balance, there's action needed on your behalf here. Sometimes we end up breaking our own hearts by staying somewhere that we feel as though our welcome has been outstayed, whether that be in a conversation, whether that be in a connection. When you start to see the signs, allow yourself the space to go figure out what's better for you. I saw this thing yesterday on TikTok, and it was like, when someone hurts you, it's have the energy of, it was nice meeting you, but it was nicer meeting me. So like, whatever pain you caused me, I actually learned more about myself from it. It's that energy. Message from guides. You have to experience some kind of slowdown period so you can figure out how to speed up. You're being shown where the energy depletion is coming from so that you can correct that and figure out what works better for you. I feel like there's an answer in what you're avoiding. whatever it is that you're avoiding, looking into maybe why you're avoiding it or how you're avoiding it or for what for what purpose it would trigger something within you, there's an answer in what is being avoided. An answer in how to move forward based off of what is being avoided. But it feels like kind of like a hidden in plain sight type of thing. Is there a message from S for our family? The person that seems fine, but, like, also you can tell they're not, it feels like continuing to let that person know that there's space being held for them is important and also enough. Um, it almost feels like someone's being offered support and they don't feel ready to take it, but knowing that it's there is still important. Someone's having a hard time with something. I don't know if it's relating to S or if S is confirming what you're already thinking. That person will come forward for support when they feel comfortable to do so if they know that the space is still being held for them to do so. Oh, wrong playlist. 1 second. Signed, Sealed, Delivered by Stevie Wonder. Maybe that person is being guided spiritually to come forward and get the support they need. Will my son's court case ever end? Will he be cleared of all charges? Is it possible that he would take some kind of deal for a lesser charge in order to avoid whatever the bigger charge is? It feels like it ends after that. I shift perspective, realize this is a better option. I take this and the battle's over. I'm wondering if they're going to offer like a lesser thing to avoid and expunge whatever the worst option would be. Claire, I thought I did yours. Mm, no, I don't even see it. One second. Let me try and find this. I don't see any of them. Claire, if you're still here, type in your question again because I do not see. All I see is that they're being ignored, and then there's 3. I don't see the other ones though. My second question. I know that's a different person. Yeah, type it in again, and I'll go to the bottom in a minute because I do not see them. And I'm never ignoring anyone, guys. I'm trying my best. There's a lot of questions coming in, and I try not do multiple of the same person in a row. So try and space them out if possible, please. Where am I? All right. Will my doctor figure out what to do with my results from yesterday, and will it be taken care of quickly? I feel like, yes, it will be taken care of. He'll know what action to take, but it might be. I tend to believe that the action that he's going to say to take will be quickly, but the action itself may be lower. So it may be like something that's a certain amount of time you have to wait, or like, uh, for example, like maybe like a 12-week before it starts to kick in type of thing, something like that. It's like he's going to know what action to take, but the action in itself may take a minute. Thank you, Linda. What is my current energy? I thought I did that one. What is my current energy? Needing to pause and figure out where there may be some kind of imbalance because of allowing other people's energy to interfere with what you're planning to do. There's a need to look at a strategy in a different way. What recently didn't work out, and how could that be because of other people's energy interfering in the way that you're making decisions? Yeah, the star. The way forward is by redirecting your thought to not include other people's fears or projections. I don't think it's something that you're consciously doing, but something that was throwing you off balance. I'm gonna do two more, and then I have to hop off. Question for my dad. He knows the question. Is it 1, 2, or 3? Not 1. Wrong way, wrong direction. Right side up for 2. Not seeing clearly for 3. So 2 is the only one with a yes. So it'd be number 2. All right, last one, and then I have to hop off. Message for my spirit, from my spirit guide. Be mindful with other people who seem to be filling in the blanks with what they're saying and filling it in with what you want to hear. So, like, not that they're not being honest, but they may be exaggerating something in order to get you more comfortable with not asking questions. How do I word that differently? If somebody wants you to lay something to rest mentally, they may tell you the truth mixed in with what they feel like you want to hear to solidify the truth, even if the extra is kind of just fluff. So pay attention to people's actions and how they align with what they're saying to be true. All right, everyone, I'm going to hop off. Thank you for being here, and thank you to my mods. It's today, Friday. I don't know if I'm getting to the subscribers live this week because I was sick on Tuesday and Wednesday. So next week, if I don't get to it this week, and hopefully I'm going to try and get at least one true crime video out tomorrow. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here.